Hey everyone, it's Dale here. In this video I want to show you how to properly set up volume footprints in TradingView, so you don't have to use the terrible default layout that looks like this. It is messy, hard to read and not good if you want to trade footprints seriously. Instead, I'll show you a clean, professional setup that looks like this, where the key information is clear, easy to read and easy to trade from. And it's not just about colors, it's also about showing the right data the right way. So let's get to it. First, what you need to do is you need to have a trading plan so you can access the volume footprints in TradingView. So what you need is their plan, which is the premium one, which costs around €50 per month. Once you have that, TradingView will allow you to get the volume footprints on your chart, as you can see in here. So let me now go to TradingView. So here is the TradingView platform. Now we have the standard candles, but we'll quickly change that. So you click this button here and click the volume footprint. It will change into this. Well, not exactly this, because this is my layout. The default layout looks a bit different, but let me show you how you can set it up so it looks like this. So right click the chart and go to settings. Once in the settings, you can adjust the candles and how they look in here, and those settings are not really that important. They'll just change how the colors and the candles look. So I would just keep it as it is now. And let's move on to the more important settings, which is setting of the volume footprint. First important thing is the row size. You want to have that at manual, because if you use the auto setting, then what it will do is it will adjust its row size according to volatility, which will mean that every time the footprint will look a bit different, and it's not good at all. So you want to keep that at manual, and the way I have it is I have 2 ticks per row, like here. This is how I have it for currency futures. If you are going to trade, for example, the indices, then you might want to change this, but for currency futures I have it at 2. Now, the next setting is the display setting, and I have it as profile. If you change it to cluster, then it looks like this. This is the default setting that the TradingView uses, but the problem I have with that is that it doesn't allow me to see where heavy volumes were traded, right? So instead, I prefer the profile, which will immediately show me where heavy volumes were traded, for example here, and where low volumes are traded, for example, in here, right? So that's why I prefer having it like this. It also very nicely shows where sellers were more aggressive, where buyers were more aggressive, and you can tell at first glance. So that's why I prefer having it like this. Now, regarding the type of the footprint, I currently have it as buy and sell, which shouldn't really say buy and sell, it should say bid and ask. But TradingView platform is simplified platform for retail traders. That's why they simply say buy and sell. What they want to say with this is that this part of the footprint, the right side of the footprint, is buyers, the left side of the footprint is sellers. This is not 100% correct, but if you prefer simplicity, then this is, the way how to say it. Anyways, this is how I have it, buy and sell. What you can also do is set it to total. It looks like this. Looks like small volume profiles. And this is essentially sum of the buy and sell volumes. Okay. The rest of the settings, the delta settings, not too useful, I think. It shows the difference between buyers and sellers, not too useful in my opinion. And also the ladder, it shows, if you look for example into this footprint, it shows who was stronger, whether sellers or buyers, right? The stronger side is always colored, right? That's why it's called ladder. And you know, I wouldn't really use this setting. I would just stick to the standard buy and sell or bid and ask, or to the total volume. So let's stick with that. And the next thing, some colors, you can copy the ones that I have. Those are not default colors, so you can just copy what I have here. Then the value area, I have that off. I don't really know why they even have that option here. Probably because this was created by coders and not traders. Value area, if you turn that on, it shows value area in each footprint. But you know, value area is good for volume profile trading, not for order flow trading, in my opinion. That's why I have that off. Now the next thing is the summary info. The summary info is a summary below each footprint. Let me just turn off the value area here. And it is here. This is the summary info of each footprint. In here, it shows what the delta in this particular footprint was. In this case, the delta was 200 contracts. That means that there were more buyers than sellers, right? Because the delta is positive. If you look, for example, into this footprint, then the delta is negative. That means sellers were dominating in this footprint, right? Because the delta is negative. So that's what the delta shows. And the total, that's the total volume traded in this whole footprint. Both those pieces of information are quite useful, so that's why I recommend having that on the chart. You can either have it below each footprint like this, or if you opt in for this option for a table, then it will show that information at the bottom of your screen. Right, so it's up to you how you prefer it. If you have it at the bottom of your screen, you can choose from many different options what to actually show in this table. But you know, most of this stuff, you won't really use this. You will, most of the time, you will just want to see the delta and the total volume. The rest is just, you know, so there's more numbers and you can feel like you are flying a spaceship or something. So it's not useful. It's not useful. Just stick to the delta and volume and you'll be fine. I prefer to having that information below each footprint like this. Now, coming up next is imbalance. Imbalance is if you compare, for example, this cell and this cell, always diagonally, always compare diagonally. If you compare those, then imbalance is if one cell is one side, if one side is bigger than the other one, then it will get highlighted. If it's bigger 300 or more %, that it will get highlighted. For example, take a look at this footprint and it gets highlighted with this black thing here. Do you see that? This black thing. So if you look at this footprint, then we are comparing this number and this number, right? Always diagonally. If this number on the right side is bigger, then there's buying imbalance and it gets highlighted like this, okay? 300% or more, you can change it. The default is 300 and I stick to the default in this case. I also stick to the 300. So that's the imbalance. Remember, always the comparison is done diagonally like this, okay? This is buying imbalance, and for example here we have selling imbalances, because in here sellers are dominant, right, compared to this number of volumes traded by buyers, okay? Now, stacked levels. Stacked levels is, in other words, stacked imbalance. And if you look, for example, here, there are a couple of buying imbalances here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. If they're at the top of each other, like this, then it's called stacked imbalance. And if there are 3 or more stacked, then they'll get highlighted like this, okay? It's useful to have that on because those zones often work as support or resistance zones. So that's why I want to keep track of those. I have it at 3, so it shows 3 or more imbalances stacked at the top of each other. Now the next setting is the minimal volume and ignore zero setting. That's also setting for the imbalance, and I have that off, ignore zeros off, minimal volume to 0, because if you change that, then it would ignore zeros and show only imbalances where there is no zero on the other side. But that doesn't really make any sense. Why you should ignore zeros? Like, imbalance is an imbalance even if one side of the footprint is 0. So just keep it like this. You should be fine. And the last important thing here is adjust for contract changes. What this means is that if, for example, the price moves like this, and then there's a change of contract, and the price will start here and move like this, then if you have this setting on, what it will do, it will adjust the old contract, it will move it like this. So it nicely continues to the new one, and there's not that artificial gap. Okay, so that's why I have that on. Alright, so that's about that. That's how you set up the footprint chart in TradingView. I hope you guys found this useful, and if you've done it, congratulations, the first step is behind you. Now the only thing left is learn how to trade with the Orderflow. And if you want to learn it, then I have the perfect thing for you. Just go to my website, which is traderdale.com, and if you click this button which says trading course and tools, then it will bring you to this page. You scroll down a bit, and in here I have the Orderflow pack, which includes 12-hour course on how to trade with Orderflow. Also my custom-made Orderflow software, which I think is far superior to the TradingView software, and also this is lifetime payment, so no recurring payments. You pay once and the software is yours forever. So if you are interested in that, you can get that on my website. Alright, so thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Until then, happy trading.